Zaha Hadid was one of the world's most famous architects. She designed buildings that people had never seen anything like before. They look like they were almost impossible to be built. She's known for undulating forms, which means something that looks like a snake and has curves. You will be creating a playground inspired by Zaha Hadid. You'll also be able to place that playground anywhere in the world using green screen technology. Mine is featured here in Paris, France. We will begin with a green base. You'll see why later. Green also can remind us of grass or ground. To do this, put your name on the bottom first because you will start to build some complicated structures above. I have some silvery paper that I can cut into natural forms to make a body of water. So look at how I'm slowly opening and closing my scissors and turning my paper with my left hand. This lets me cut a nice smooth line across my paper. The challenge for this project is to have no tape, only glue, paper, string, and silver paper. If you've taken an art class before where someone had you make a line sculpture, this is a very similar concept. I'm going to design a bridge that goes over my stream. So I'm going to cut it to the right length, and then I'm going to fold little feet. You'll see that these 2 feet are where it will attach to the base. I just have to tickle the bottom of those feet with a glue stick. And then spend a really long time massaging that glue down. Once they're all glued down, I can turn my paper over and trim the parts that are sticking out. One of the challenges for this art project is to contain your whole playground on your one square. Now I get to cut out some of my structures. I'm going to use scissors. I don't have to use straight strips of paper like I did for the bridge. I can cut any shape I want and then just glue its feet down to my paper. I'm going to try one of these undulating or snake-like shapes that Zaha Hadid used. I'm going to decide where am I going to add glue so that it can touch the paper and stick down. I did one glue in the middle and one on the ends, and then I'm going to really hold this in place for a long time to make sure that it sticks. I want to show you one more structure that I'm going to add here to my playground. It's a nice, unusual shape, and I'm going to fold 2 very obvious feet. Just like the paper strip, I add some glue to the bottom of the feet, stick, and then hold them down in place. Patience really pays off when you're sculpting with paper, both cutting and gluing. And one more feature your playground might have is something that uses a brad to rotate. Brad is that little brass piece right there. I poked a hole in my structure, and then I poked a hole in the base. And then I open those legs there on the brad, and that means it'll spin. I decided I'm going to use string to dangle a little swing below this arch. So I put a pad of paper under while I poked a hole, and then pull a needle and thread up through the structure. And I attached a little circle to it, that there can be a swing dangling beneath. And then I'm going to tie a knot in the top so that it will stay in place. You can always use things like white glue to hold a string in place on your playground. Once it dries, it'll be really secure. Once you are finished with your playground and everything is dry, you can take it to the green screen area. This is a large green cloth where you will set your playground in the middle, try and straighten out any wrinkles, and make it so that the sign for your playground is facing you. Get the best angle. Look for the Magic Wand app. It says GS Wizard. We're going to take a photo up at the top there. So you can hold the iPad either way, but this landscape way is probably the best. I'm doing this one-handed, but you're going to press that white button on the screen to take a photo. So that's what it looks like, but you should be looking when you can. This is my left-handed operation. And I'm going to press Use Photo because it's a pretty good photo, although it is going off the camera a little bit. So there's my photo. I just loaded the foreground on the green screen. Then you can see that it will appear on top of the background photo. So my background photo there was a field of grass, but I can press Load Background and look at all my photos. At the bottom, there's an album called Backgrounds, and I can go in there and find different backgrounds for my playground. You might even use something that looks familiar. We can also discuss finding new backgrounds from online. But whatever background you choose, by loading the background, that's how it will appear. And then I want you to save your image. And that'll keep your art on the iPad, and we can share it with folks like your family or print it and enjoy your playground construction on a very interesting background.